bon. I saw Andrea Crash mentioning Dead to Me. If anyone hasn't seen Dead to Me, it's an absolutely cracking couple of series. Just brilliant, brilliantly funny, twists and turns, two really strong central performances by two brilliant actresses. How are we all? Morning, Gabrielle. Morning, Emma O'Brien. I thought I'd just do a little bit of a fast shoe shuffle, a little shoe shuffle and start 2 minutes early. Morning, Leslie S. Morning, Lorraine Eads, Leo Vibefeeler, Jan, Kimberly Chapman, Ellery Jones, Ramona Saroldi, Angela Burnett. Welcome, welcome, subscribers, family guests, all of you. Welcome, welcome. So here we are again, guys. Another morning in lockdown, another morning in a long lockdown three. Who thinks there's going to be a lockdown 4? Do you think we'll ever do lockdown again? Let's start off with a yes or no. Do you think this will be, after this lockdown, will there ever be another lockdown? Yes or no? I've got confident feelings that I don't think there will be. I don't think they'll ever happen again. I think this could be it. Ooh, 50-50. 50-50. Hope not. Yeah, I agree. Next winter, you think, Laura May? Maybe, possibly. Isn't the world a shit show, Leggy Blonde Jen? The world certainly is a shit show if you look at it through a certain lens. And that lens is the lens that we are currently looking at it through, unfortunately. Laura May, you think next winter? I think there may be some restrictions come next winter, but I do think they're going to be on top of the vaccines enough to really keep tweaking and keep modifying and all that kind of stuff. Yes, variants are going to come in, but as fast as variants come in, I think they're going to be able to. I mean, you know, interestingly, initial reports from Israel show that transmissibility is really, really being reduced amongst those who have received the vaccination. And that is the key to change. Van Tam was asked about that in the briefing yesterday, and I could tell he didn't really want to run towards it too much. But I do think that the initial suggestion from Vaccine Central, which is Israel, is that transmissibility is massively reduced. Katie Falshaw, hope you're okay, darling. I haven't seen what it was about necessarily, but I see that you've been feeling a bit down, and our lovely community has hopefully helped and supported you. Kerry Hinge, thank you for my card. My dad loved it and has shown it to everyone. Oh, good. I'm really pleased. More cards going out. We have a constant backlog. A couple of books went out. It's very hard to get hold of books. It's very hard to get hold of cards. Morning, Xander. Hope you're well. Stuart G. Hope you're. I think 2021 won't get going until October, November. Faith Goodman, are they giving it to the Palestinians as well now? I don't think they are. They do have a responsibility to, because of course they control everything in and out. So it'll be intriguing to see when that happens. I think in the spirit of neighbourliness, it would be nice, wouldn't it? Gabrielle, the media needs to stop publishing a timeline of easing of restrictions. It gives people false hope. Anything could change in this pandemic, so we have to be hopeful but realistic. Yeah, you're right. I mean, yeah, there's sort of, you're right. There's sort of pros and cons at the moment. So future transmissibility looks like it's reduced by the vaccines. Numbers are coming down, though Imperial College are quick to point out that numbers are coming down in this country at the moment. Lockdown is working, no surprise. I mean, the fact that some aren't observing lockdown doesn't contradict the fact that the majority of people are doing lockdown, and that has reduced numbers. And I've said it many times on this channel. It always amuses me that people say that as if it's new news and as if it's to be as if it's like a development. It's not a development. It's a logical consequence of something. What the big question is, what do you do next? Do you know what I mean? Do you come out too soon? Do you run the risk of if you come out too soon, so that's why I think there's transmissibility info that's coming from Israel that's not yet formally been ratified. I think if the indications coming from Israel are true, we really are looking at a potentially very resolved situation, I say, come May. I reckon by May, we could be out of the woods, guys. Which is why, if you also look in the Sun and the Telegraph today, there are mutterings that if the school opening scenario happens in March, as suggested, there are plans to look at non-essential shops opening in April and for pubs and restaurants to open in May. So let's be uber cautious and let's push schools back by another 2 weeks. Let's say 1st of June. I reckon 1st of June, we could be in a much, much better place where, you know, the vast majority of people are vaccinated and what have you. What do you think, guys? Do you agree? I think that's a fair assumption. Now, obviously, that doesn't allow for any potentially nasty variants, but I think they're even across the limited ways in which, or the scope with which the variants are adjusting themselves. Emma Carter, I'm really worried I won't get my second vaccine with the EU making a fuss. It is quite tense, isn't it, between the EU and the UK? I mean, it really is a case of you know, you said this, he said that, we said this, I've got that, I want your vaccine, you can't have my vaccine, tug, 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 tug. Yeah. I sort of imagine this huge tug of war across the English Channel with like something equating to a sort of Christmas cracker. And you've got the EU on one side, you've got us on the other side, and we're pulling and pulling, pulling, and then when it goes crack, all these vaccines are going to spill into the English Channel. That's my vivid little image of it all. And meanwhile, old Borisy Boobar, any Scots in the room at the moment? Boris is heading up to Scotland. What do we make of that? I have a very strong feeling about this, and I wonder if you can guess what it is. So Nicola Sturgeon's come out saying it's non-essential travel. Boris Johnson is heading up to Scotland. We don't want him in Scotland. Shirley Finley's saying, oh no, I'm not talking about whether you want him. You know me, I'm not a particularly big fan of Boris Johnson at all. Courtney Richardson, yes, I'm in Dundee. Keep him, please. Oh dear, okay. Bonnie Scotland, Bobby Ward. He can bog off, Raspberry Mojito Gal. Nicola Straw, non-essential travel. Nicola has told him he shouldn't go, Karen Ula. Well, okay, so here's the thing on this one, and I think it's a bit more difficult than that. He wants a haggis, Ellen. I think he's a bit of a haggis, isn't he? Xander, she drives to Edinburgh daily, Nicola Sturgeon. Here's what I think about this. I think Boris, park aside what you think of Boris, and I think, like Angela Locke does, he's a blithering idiot. It's all about Project Boris rather than it is about anything else. But he is the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, and do we not think if he didn't go at all, he's damned if he does and he's damned if he doesn't. If he doesn't go at all, it would be easy for Nicola Sturgeon to say much further down the way, you didn't even pay a visit to Scotland, you didn't even include us in the whatever and da-da-da-da and all that kind of stuff. And he's obviously doing this because there's a real tangible fear that the union is gonna split. Now, that's a different argument. So I'm kind of with Keir Starmer. I was just listening to Keir Starmer on LBC this morning, and he was saying actually he supports the Prime Minister. He's the Prime Minister of the country, and he needs to consider all of the country in the same breath. If he's doing stuff in Cornwall, if he's doing stuff in the north of England, London, Scotland too, and Wales, he should be there. But my problem with him going is that wherever he goes, he sows discontent. So if one of his inadvertent missions is to maintain the union, I think probably the best thing Boris could do is not get to Scotland at all. Do you know what I mean? So on the one hand, I think he would be damned if he did and damned if he didn't. But I can't work out if this is just kind of, it's a light news day, because a lot of people are talking about this. A lot of the news stations are going, should he, shouldn't he? They want a story out of this. And Sturgeon says he shouldn't. I mean, I just saw Erin Tyler Paris. It's a fair point you make there. Do it remotely. The rest of us have to work and learn online. He could, in a sense, listen to Sturgeon and then do it online, couldn't he? And sort of say, Nicola Sturgeon told me not to. But then he's kind of deferring to her greater experience and strength and sort of control of Scotland. So he's going, I believe, to visit a vaccination factory or vaccine manufacturing plant, and also to meet some of the NHS workers up in Scotland. Jackie Vellino, give the guy a break. I mean, I must admit, on this one, I don't, as I say, I'm with Keir Starmer on it. I think he'd be damned if he didn't, and now he's damned if he does. He's not going to be, I presume he's not going to be driving up there, shaking everyone's hands and he'll wear a mask and all that kind of stuff. So is it essential? You could argue it's essential that he's seen to be pulling the country together, for morale, maybe. There you go. Superction, welcome back. My name is Sam, by the way. Hi, Superction, or Sam. Miss One Tricia, I am not learning with the app Simply Piano, but I would like to work with an app, so maybe I will work with the app Simply Piano. Thank you for that. Is Boris a puppet? I don't know. Has he got a hand up his arse? A puppet for who? He's a bit floppy, isn't he? I'm just going to pause talking for a minute there. I just wanted to really imbibe my coffee. Sue Wood, Mark, I ask about Nanny Di is doing. Nanny Di's fine. She's at her flat. She's doing her sort of online courses. She's doing her bits and bobs. I'm sure she'll be coming back. Well, I know she's coming back soon. We're not quite sure when. It's tricky for Nan because I think it's a very busy household and we have a lot going on during the week. And, we like to make a fuss of her. She doesn't want to stay. She only ever wants to be here for a day or two. And so it's just finding the right days or two for her to be here so that we're not at full tilt. Because then, of course, she ends up coming and then just, the girls are on their phones doing their chats with their kids and me and Nadia are busy. It feels sort of mean that she's kind of like, she's here. So trying to find those 2 days in a week is tricky. So Nanny Di, if you're there and you're watching, we're trying to find those 2 days, aren't we? Well, I mean, we aren't, you are. Nan's busy. I think she's got a course today. Erin Tyler Paris, it doesn't matter if he's damned either way. We're in lockdown. Be responsible for once and don't fucking go. Jesus. Okay, Erin. There you go. There you go, Boris. I think of all the things that everyone's jabbering on about in the news, I think it's one of the least important news stories going, but it's funny how it's right at the top because I think, everyone wants conflict, don't they? So the idea that Nicola Sturgeon and Boris Johnson are going head to head, brilliant. And I think the idea that, the EU and the UK are going head to head is brilliant. But, the reality, I think the problem with the EU and the vaccine situation, I don't know what you think, guys, is, I reckon, do you not think that like the French border patrol and the port patrol and all that kind of stuff on the French side are just kind of going, those fucking arses in England, they think they're so smart and smug because they've left fucking Europe. And now they're keeping all the vaccines. Let's just make it really nightmarish for them. Do you know what I mean? I do worry there could be sort of like, punishments. You know what I mean? Punishments. When will green-fingered hell begin again? Well, you asked Nanny Di. I keep asking her and she keeps going, it's a little bit cold. We're going to go out there. It's a little bit cold. Sam JP, Mark, I'm 4 weeks sober. Watch you both every morning. Head over to Sober Dave on Instagram. We did a half-hour chat last night. It was really nice. It was really good. It was really good just to kind of talking about long-term sobriety, talking about drink and all that. Sam JP. But well done on 4 weeks sober. There might be something in there that's useful. So Caroline Ibbotson, hello Caroline, hope you're well, hope the family's good. Dale, Fifi, hope you're all good. You're starting to plot the garden. Oh, don't, I know, I'm excited about that, but I want to plot with someone, and Nan's not a good plotter. Nanny Di, if you're listening, you said you'd go away and you'd look at what to plant, but I don't know what you do in your flat all day, Mum. You're not plotting or planning. You're just nicking my soil and putting it in your houseplants. Now, come on, Mum. You need to have a mission statement for this year. Have a little look and have a think and see what you want to do, and let's get on with it. Yeah? Laura Byrne, everyone is acting childish. We're not. I watched a programme here about Northern Ireland politics getting in the way of saving lives. Wake up, politicians. Sorry, Zandy, you're still not getting notifications. That's a pain, isn't it? I mean, we'll put a notice up for YouTube and say, look, can you just double check that that's working? I have noticed there's been a few issues, gripes around the sort of outer edges of running the channel. So I don't know whether they're carrying over into notifications. So apologies for that. Anna Froby, Angie Knowles, also people respect social distancing, very good. We have stricter rules since about 1 month. Pauline Mulvey, why not have a French theme in the garden? That's a good idea. Okay, if the shops do open, what shops are you most missing? What are you most looking forward to getting out and buying, guys? What are you most looking forward to getting back out, getting into the shop? I mean, I've really missed just browsing around a bookshop, if I'm honest. That's what I've really missed. I've really missed the thought of being able to just wander around a bookshop with no rush. Clothing, who said that? Clothing, Karen R. Oh, James McBeer. IKEA, really. I find IKEA the most hideous experience. It's like once you get trapped in their one-way system, there's no getting out. It's like you're trapped in the Truman Show or something like that. I find it unbearable in there. Nadia loves it. Nadia and Dina absolutely love it. Oh, look, we have a new member. Who's that? Who's that? Katie Falshaw. Oh, welcome aboard, Katie. And I will wait until Nads is back to sing your name out. We keep a little tally. Your little names are on little bits of paper and we just put them over there and we go, yes, we've got to call them out soon. It's pretty horrendous though. Christy and Craigswold, Botox. Wow, okay. That's what you missed. Yeah, a bit of a jab in the old forehead. Yeah. Sarah Fox, never been to IKEA. Teresa Davidson, Costas are open. I mean, you can't sit in them, but Costas are open. Karen Ula, bookshops, clothes. Oh, Courtney Richardson. I'm not a big bacon butty fan, but the fact that I can't have one makes me want one. Hit the thumbs up, guys, if you want to go for a bacon butty in a greasy spoon. That would be nice. That would be nice. Yeah. Hairdressers and nail salons, Wendy M. You know what? I've never been in a nail salon. Hardly surprising. Do men go in nail salons? I don't know. Books with coffee shops in, Della Nixon, that kind of thing. I mean, obviously, we're the Popcorn Junkies side of the channel. We were going to get, we are submitting for Rotten Tomatoes accreditation for our review channel. And, cinema, where's cinema? West End and local theatre, Faith Goodman. Dandy Magpie, I want to go on a big walk, get wet, be really cold, go into a wee bar with a fire, have half a pint of Guinness and a plate of chips for my son, Dandy Magpie. When you do it, I want to be there with you. Though, of course, I will push the Guinness across the table. Back at you. Everyone is missing getting their hair done. Me, most of all, absolutely. Nadia wanted to cut it last night, but I said, no, you've got to vlog it. The guys want to see it. Katie, garden centres. Are garden centres open? I think garden centres are open, aren't they? Deborah Holdsworth, so happy today as my mum and dad are having their jabs, their first step to freedom. Oh, Jill Lister, theatre and cinema. Yeah, hit the thumbs up, guys, if you're enjoying having a little natter, all about the future joys of heading to the shops. I must admit, it's a bookshop. Now, in terms of dining out, restaurants, pubs, and all that kind of stuff, where's your first port of call, guys? Where are you going to head off to first? What restaurant? I mean, obviously the girls, they love their Waggers, they love their Nando's. My stomach's rumbling at the thought of it. It's rumbling and tumbling. Country pub, Gabrielle, Ashley Gardner, Nando's. Me too, mate. Right up the front, I want my halloumi, I want my olives, and I want my chicken, chicken pita. Toby and Spiz, Joanne Clements, Pizza Hut, Ellen, Carvery, local seafood bar, Julie Naylor, Pie from the Pub, Emily Jackson. I love a good Italian restaurant, love all sorts really, Nicola Randall. Francesca Bastos. I know we need theatres and concert halls open. We talked a lot about this at the beginning of lockdown, first lockdown. The losses are expected to reach 90%. What I find curious, Francesca, I don't know if you agree, is that there was a lot of talk about places like the National Theatre, the Globe Theatre, the Royal Opera House, all these places being sort of right on the edge of their existence. And it seems to have gone quiet. Either there's no appetite to report on them, or they've been sustained sufficiently, or it was an over-amplified fear in the first place. I don't know. I mean, I'm genuinely asking the question. I mean, I'm plugged into these institutions, but I keep getting emails saying, new things coming, and you thought sort of thing. And I thought the whole sector was in a tailspin. I mean, I know actors are, I know performers are, but what about the institutions? Julie Neary, hit the thumbs up, guys. I just keep saying it because it annoys people. Toby Carvery, Stuart G, all you can eat, bit of a buffet. When I was younger, I used to love that symbol, all you can eat. I mean, I suppose now it carries with it, you know, all sorts of potential worries and risks and health risks and all that. In fact, we recorded our Confessions of a Modern Parent this morning. It's all about body image. It's all about body confidence. It's, I say to Nads how proud I am of her being a sort of body confidence guru now. But we talk about all of that, and it's a really meaningful chat, and that will be going up tomorrow morning. If you fancy listening to all our other chats, they are timeless. They are timeless chats. They are the confessions of two parents struggling to make sense of this world of parenthood. Do go there. It's Confessions of a Modern Parent. Details are beneath this film. Sushi Mania, James McBeer. Yeah, I fancy a Waggers. I'm a big fan. The Ship in Croydon, Deborah Holdsworth, the only metal pub in town. Do you mean as in heavy metal? So do you sit there and it's like death metal kind of just going in the background? Is that? I want to go to my comic shop in central London, which I thought had closed down, which it had closed down, but apparently it's reopening in a new format. That's what I miss. I miss my little record shop in just off Darblay Street in Soho, where you go in and you get the funky tunes and you can stand there and listen on your thingies, but you can't because you need a mask. I wonder if you need masks for ears. Haven't seen that, Xander, no. Spoons, love Spoons, nice and cheap. Ashley Garden, nice and cheap. Vegan Vice in Cambridge. Ooh, vegan family. Yeah, so, Maddie's main thing is concerts. She wants to get back, obviously she wants to perform. She wants to, they want to go. They have live metal bands, Deborah Holdsworth at the Ship in Croydon. Wow. I want to, when we come out of lockdown, experience things I wouldn't normally experience. I'm not a fan of heavy metal, but why the hell not go to a heavy metal concert and just find out what it's like? Did anyone else see that Bez, the guy who played the maracas for the Happy Mondays, started his own fitness regime on YouTube? I think it lasted one film. He was trying to compete with Joe Wicks. Didn't last too long, though. Anyway, look, here's a thing. This is a curious story. What about this? And don't share it with Nads, because she could sing a bit too much. You know about singing. No singing when it's just me. No singing. Singing lessons can help with long COVID. Della Nixon, thank you for mentioning art galleries. That's Kiki's major miss at the moment. It's just the art, the stimulus, the inspiration, all of it. But listen to this, how singing lessons can help with long COVID. People still suffering breathlessness months after being treated for COVID are finding help from an unusual source. A joint venture between the English National Opera and Imperial College London is using music and singing to help people rediscover better breathing patterns and inhale more deeply with impressive results. Breathing is a really important thing. I think, breathing exercises and getting in touch with your breathing and having conscious, but it's like everything. Mind you, sometimes, don't you find it exhausting, right? It's like you've got to have conscious eating. You've got to have conscious drinking. You have to have conscious thinking. And now you have to have conscious breathing. I don't want to be conscious all the time of everything I'm doing. But what they're saying is, by having conscious breathing, you can regulate your oxygen intake and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, Nora Doyle, do not tell Nadia that breathing helps with COVID, because we'll never, ever hear the end of it. Yeah, I really, really want conscious. I mean, the one I heard that was absolutely ridiculous was conscious shitting. Yeah, I'm kid you not. Be conscious when you're doing it. It will help your gut. The kindest thing you can do to your colon is to be aware of when you're emptying it. What? Thank you, Angela Locke. That's exactly what I said. I said, OMG, I need a wee. Francesca Bastos, yes, I've written a whole article in my column on the Portuguese classical music magazine about how people now have started to forget to remember. In Vienna, most artist agencies already closed doors. Forget to remember. I see. Are you talking about have forgotten to remember the fact that many institutions are struggling? Absolutely. I just want to go and see some live music and small festivals and at pubs. Oh yeah, and art galleries. Agree, Leo. So do we, man. So do we. We want to get down with it, don't we, Leo? We want to get vibey. We want to go vibey. We want to see a bit of eye stimuli with the arty-warty. We want a little bit of ear ear gear, just to make the ears just kind of, just make you, stuff that goes in your ears and in your eyes, it's just stimuli. It just keeps you going, it feeds you, and I've not been fed in that way for a long time. Do not tell Nadia. Someone just said I'm going to tell Nadia. Anne-Marie, Miss Friend's calling in for a cuppa. You see, that doesn't happen in London. It used to happen all the time down at my nan's. I'd go down to my nan and granddad's and their neighbours would come in for a cup of tea. And I don't know if you found this when you were a young person, when you were like 13, 12. Did your parents, I mean, for me, it was my grandparents, not my mum. My grandparents would always sort of like push me to the front and go, look, this is our grandson. And you'd be standing there like a twat and going, hello, hello. And they'd ask you questions like, what A-levels do you do? What A-levels do you do? That's what we say to the girls with homeschooling. Adults have a really, really low imagination, very limited imagination when it comes to what to talk to teenagers about, which is why so many adults go to teenagers. So what are you doing? What are you studying? What are you studying? Right. And as they ask it, their eyes glaze over because they know it's the same old shit. And what GCSEs are you taking? And what A-levels are you taking? Oh, and where are you going to college? And what are you taking at college? And they're not interested at all. Adults aren't interested at all. That's what we said to the kids. You could say anything. You could say, I'm studying elephant feces. And they go, oh, really? It's A-level? Oh, wow. Oh, what are you going to do with that? What are you going to do with that? They always say, what are you going to do with that? Say to Maddie, just say you are dedicated to singing, acting, dancing, all these things, and you are going to be on stages doing these things once again. So true. Oh, what are you studying? Elephant feces. Oh, that's so interesting. What will you do with that? Yes, I'm sure there'll be a big opening for that. Yes, I know someone who does that kind of thing. And they don't mean it. None of them mean it. Sorry. It's frustrating, isn't it? I think adults need to make more of an effort. Nicholas Straw, laugh out loud. My dad said that when I studied art. It's true. Art. What will you do with that? What will you do with that? Will you be a doctor? Will you be an accountant? Will you be a teacher? Oh. And if they don't know your subject, they go, oh, that's interesting. Oh, dearie me. Sarah Chapman, Mark, I do kitchen karaoke every day making dinner. Does that count? I think it counts if you're having a laugh, if you're having fun, if you're having a good time. Yeah. My Scottish granny used to pay her insurance man every week and he would stay for cups of tea, sandwiches and cake. It was normal and so lovely. It's everyone had time to chat, Karen Ulla. I remember my nan and granddad had a neighbour called George. No. Yes, George. Was it George? Jimmy. No, it was Jimmy. And he was a colonel. He was a colonel in the war. And he had a moustache that he used to draw on. It wasn't real. It was drawn on. With, I think, and his wife, whose name was Thelma, like my nanny Thelma. What is a good question to ask teenagers? What music are you listening to? What films are you watching? Where are you going tonight? What are you all into on YouTube, on social media? What series are you watching? That kind of stuff. Politics. What do you think of the elections in America? They're all much more plugged in than we think. So, do you know what I mean? They're the better questions to ask, I think, Faith. I think. They're certainly the ones that get bigger conversations out of our girls. Jimmy, oh, he's sweet Jimmy. He was a colonel. And he used to draw on his moustache. But his wife, Thelma, same name as my nan, his wife was the female snooker champion of the UK. How cool was that? And she was lovely. She had big smiley faces and great big cheeks, and she was just, she was lovely. But yeah, they used to, anyway, why am I saying all that? They used to pop in for a cup of tea, and I used to be shoveled to the front, and I go, hello, I'm Mark. I'm doing maths, English, history, O-levels. I miss popping around to my 8-year-old neighbour for a cuppa. Yeah, cups of tea, we need to bring that back in. And I think Outlandish Creations needs to create all of the Chinaware for our resurgent tea gathering and meeting for cups of tea. Don't you? I think we should reintroduce the... I mean, the thing is, in London, it's so hard. It's like, you know, a friend of ours lives up at the Elephant Castle. We've been trying to arrange... I mean, I said we'd drop by. We were going to drop by the other day. But then, of course, you can't go that route if you're driving, if you're going into town. We're not going into town that much now. It's just like, oh, let's drop in for a cup of tea. And Zoom just doesn't do it, does it? Doesn't do it, does it? Elijah's, what are you saying? Mark, if you're ever back to Muddyford, let me know. I'll meet you. I live near there, Muddyford. It's too traumatic for me at the moment still to go back to Muddyford. I would be drawn to go back to the bungalow of Nanny Thelma, and I just couldn't bear it. Caroline Ibbotson, I learn loads from my 20-year-olds. Caroline Ibbotson, you've hit the nail on the head. when we worked with Richard E. Grant years ago, I remember him saying, foster friendships, not like, not with kids necessarily in your own family. Foster friendships with young adults because they keep you young. They keep you plugged in. You might not agree with everything that a generation represents, but they just keep you plugged in. They keep you, you're aware of stuff. You do learn loads from your 20-year-old. You're absolutely right. Outlandish Creations, you're going to be spearheading a mission to reintroduce the afternoon cup of tea. And I think there's going to be something bloody brilliant. Sorry, we put your cups on a special place on the piano. But I think there's going to be a special place for us to sit down with an outlandish creation and go, cup of tea, anyone? Oh, absolutely lovely. Do you like a bell end? Are you a muff diver? All that sort of stuff. I think it's going to be brilliant. I just think it's just, I think the time, outlandish creations, I don't know if you know, my family history is the Adderley potteries in Stoke. So I have that bone china thing. I get it. I once wanted to relaunch the Adderley china, but yeah, I'm not a bloody potter, so I didn't. Angie Knowles, I remember as a child, my dad used to take me around to friends of his wife and Mary, and they had an Aga. I loved their fireplace, and Mary would be cooking stew on the Aga and end up, oh my God, you paint such a vivid image. I want to be by the Aga. Do you know that feeling when you're really cold as a kid and you walk into a really warm kitchen? I can't think where this would have happened for me because no one was a cook in my life. I think it happened to me as a teenager. But you walk into a kitchen, I remember walking into, I think it might have been with Izzy's mum's family. And we walked into a place and there was an Aga, and I just stood by the Aga. And I was like, do you find this with Agas? You stand near an Aga and I just do this. They just make me go to sleep, Agas. I love Agas. There's something about an Aga. I just want to curl up. When I'm around an Aga, I become a dog. I become a dog. Oh, good. Outlandish creations, making a whooping sound. I just want to I want to curl up in front of an Aga. I mean, sometimes I want to get in an Aga, but then I'd get cooked, which would be silly. Vicky Edwards, love a nice bell end. It's too early. Too early for that stuff. Come on, guys, hit the thumbs up. Get us over 200 and piss off the pissers. Where are we? Oh, I just wanted to pull up the news. Hang on one second. Let me just pull up. There's a couple of funnier news headlines knocking about today. Yeah, here, look at this. The 11 most affectionate dog breeds. What's your favourite breed of dog? I wanted to talk about this. What's your favourite breed of dog? I did see that Andrea Crashman. Cloris Leachman of the Mary Tyler Moore Show has died. That was sad. A Beagle, Westie, Jack Russell, Julie Naylor. Quite a few people love Jack Russells, don't they? I like Jack Russells, and then whenever I go in to stroke them, they always try and bite me. Golden Retriever, that's one of Kiki's favourites. I have a Pomeranian. Okay, well, do you want to know what the 10, no particular order, but the 10 most affectionate dogs are? Oh, Emily Jackson, well, that's good. You say sausage dog. Dachshund is one of these tiny pups love nothing more than to cuddle. So Dachshunds, Golden Retrievers, excuse me, I thought my heart was coming out of my mouth just then, literally kind of crawling up and out of my mouth. So Golden Retrievers, Dachshunds, Great Danes. I love a Great Dane. Their heads are enormous, aren't they? Yorkshire Terrier. They're a bit nippy though, terriers, aren't they? Italian Greyhounds. They're very pretty. Boxers. Boxers are sweet, but they're mad as a March hare. Frantic. Can't relax. Love a Corgi, James McBear. Christine Bett, German Shepherd. They're a bit frantic. Has anyone ever seen a Brussels Griffon? Do you know what a Brussels... I've got to show you a photo of Brussels Griffon. I've never seen one of these before. What's a Brussels Griffon? Check this out, guys. Oh, come on. Brussels, look at him. Hey, Brussels Griffon. That's what it's called. What's that? Brussels Griffon. Never heard of a Brussels Griffon before. Sounds like something out of Harry Potter, doesn't it? Sounds like something out of, what's the sequel to A Fantastic Beasts? Oh, a pug. Look at this pug. I've got to show you this pug. I love a pug. My first girlfriend, Jane, she loved pugs. She absolutely loved pugs. She loved pugs and she loved Care Bears. And whenever she saw them, she'd do this. She'd go, scrunchy, scrunchy. And she'd do this funny little, that's Jane, my girlfriend, would do that. But look, check out this pug. Oh, look how big its tongue is. That can't be its tongue. That's an enormous tongue. Bloody hell. Very regal looking pug, that one, isn't it? Put it back on there. Apparently pugs do a little bit of a wee everywhere they go, don't they? They're constantly doing little bits of wheeze everywhere. Always nice detail there. Mastiff. Jesus, the size of a horse. A Bichon Frise. It's like candy floss on 4 legs. A Bichon Frise. I'm guessing that's a French dog, is it? Le Bichon Frise. It's good ship lollipop. Horrible. Oh, probably about pugs weeing. Just want to say it again. Bichon Frise. Newfoundland. Oh, they're sweet. We filmed with those. Labrador Retriever. Well, there you go. Those apparently, all those ones I've read out are the most affectionate dogs. Schnauzers. I like a Schnauzer. I do like a Schnauzer. Yeah, they're very sweet. They're very sweet. So I mean, there you go, guys. There's the news. That's the news and a bit of silliness. There's the views. So next time you have a teenager plonked in front of you and you've got to ask them questions, try not to ask them about what they're taking. Because I'll tell you one thing, the last thing teenagers want to talk about is what they're taking at school, really. It's just a top tip. It's the only thing I have learned from being a parent to 4 fabulously stimulating girls. But there we go. So tonight, there will be a members live. I will post on the community page what time that is. A Cornish vlog is going up, but now I am heading off to scrub up, homeschool, and join the rest of the nation in learning all about stuff to do with stuff, about stuff, that then none of us are going to ask our children what you're learning about. Okay? I think that makes sense. Anyway, lots of love, guys. Thanks for everything. Hit the thumbs up if you've had fun. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And Katie Falshaw, your name will be mangled, probably on Saturday, because Nat is doing Loose Women, or it might happen tonight. Now that you're a family guest, it might happen on the Members Live. Love you all very much. Have a lovely day, guys. Stay safe and root for each other. Obviously, we don't get a chance to always look at all the comments, but if anyone's struggling and you want to connect with each other, please do. And lots of love.